Welcome back to the Hoard. I'm Cody Hunt. After the first episode, a few of you told me that you never look at the local library the same way again. That's the point. We're taught to find answers in textbooks, but some answers aren't indexed in the back of a book. They're buried. Today we're moving past the introduction and straight into the evidence. Close your books, sharpen your focus, and let's look at the facts. December 26th, 1996. Boulder, Colorado. The snow was fresh, the air was still, and the silence of a luxury Christmas morning should have been absolute. But inside 755 15th Street, a nightmare was unfolding. One that would shift from a kidnapping to murder and eventually to a decades-long obsession. Today, we aren't looking for a shadow in the bushes. We're looking at the people inside the walls.
Beyond the sash.
To the world, Jean Monnet was a living doll, a little Miss Colorado who would command a stage with a single kiss. But behind the sequence, she was a 6-year-old who loved pink, played Nintendo with her brother, and was just learning to read. Even her name, a tribute to her father, Jean Monnet Ramsey, came with high expectations. In Boulder's high society circles, an image was everything. Her mother, Patsy, lived out her pageant dreams through her daughter. Friends described Jean Monnet as charming, yet quiet, a child who was always performing for the cameras, judges, and later, the police.
The architecture of a lie.
At 5:52 a.m., a frantic 911 call reported a kidnapping. A 2.5-page ransom note had been found on the back staircase, yet when investigators arrived, the crime scene felt empty. There were no broken windows, forced locks, or alarms going off. The house was quiet. Then there was the note. It was not messy scrawl. It was a 3-page letter written on a pad from the kitchen using a Sharpie from John's desk. The writer spent nearly 20 minutes composing it while the family supposedly slept. The most revealing detail was the demand of $118,000. It wasn't a random $1 million figure. It was almost exactly John Ramsey's annual bonus. This was not the work of a foreign faction. It was someone familiar with the family, their stationery, home layout, and their bank account.
The mother's hand.
Investigators quickly focused on Patsy, a former pageant queen known for her appearance. She told the police she had just woken up, but she was wearing the same red velvet outfit from the night before, and her makeup was perfectly intact. Was she a grieving mother, or had she never gone to bed? Forensic linguistics pointed out that the note's dramatic style, particularly the line, "Don't grow a brain, John," seemed scripted. When the handwriting was compared to those in the household, John and Burke were ruled out. But Patsy's writing could not be disregarded. The loops and frantic yet controlled spacing matched her style. If the intruder wrote the note, why use her paper? Why stay to finish it? Or was the note a desperate attempt to protect her own image?
The midnight snack.
The mystery of Jean Monnet's last hours rests in a ceramic bowl on the kitchen table. Inside, there was undigested pineapple, which the autopsy confirmed she ate 30 to 90 minutes before her death. The Ramseys claimed she had been asleep since 10 p.m. and had no snack. However, the bowl had fingerprints of both Patsy and Burke. This suggests a midnight encounter that the parents later felt the need to hide. Why lie about a piece of fruit unless it led to confrontation? If Jean Monnet was awake in the middle of the night, the kidnapping timeline falls to pieces.
The stage tragedy.
When John Ramsey finally found his daughter in the windowless basement, he carried her upstairs, destroying any remaining trace of evidence. But what remained pointed back home. The garrote used to strangle her was not part of a hitman's kit. It came from a broken paintbrush belonging to Patsy's art supplies. The insular tragedy theory suggests that there was no monster lurking in the shadows, only an accident, perhaps a moment of parental rage or a sibling dispute gone wrong. The head injury likely occurred first, followed by a panic cover-up. In this view, the Ramseys did not intentionally kill her. They spent the night staging a kidnapping around a real body, using a note to distract from a truth hidden in their own home. School teaches us to look for answers in the light, but as we've seen today, some truths are buried in the dark corners of a basement or hidden between the lines of a 3-page note. It's a reminder that no matter how carefully a tragedy is staged, behind sequence, pageantry, or a wealth of silence, the facts eventually demand to be heard. I'm Cody Hunt. Thanks for listening to this episode of The Hoard. Class dismissed.